So baby, you like come here often, huh? Like, would you like come here often?
Well, no, not particularly.
So like, was a fine specimen like you like to do, like, do stuff and things and etc.
Well, I like to bounty hunt and kill forged.
Oh, that's cool, like, yeah, honey, so, you wanna see what this mouth can do?
Help me. Someone help me. Hello everyone and welcome back to another random, unscripted, slightly unorganized video about a new elite spec. And in today's episode we're going to be covering the Soulbeast, which is the elite spec for the Ranger. And I gotta say, when I first saw the Soulbeast, I was kind of worried. I was like, it seems kind of lackluster in its like visuals, so that kind of just led me to thinking that it was going to be a lackluster spec. But that was just like from the little previews we got when Pacifier was first announced. And I am so thankful to say that that's completely wrong. This spec is so complex, fun, engaging at all times. You have so many options. So that was like my little preamble about the spec so far and my opinion on it. Now I'm going to transition into the equipment and the specializations that I'm taking, as well as just, you know, roam around and kill some random creatures and talk about it. Maybe bring up some certain skills that I might want to be changed, or just point out certain synergies and explore the spec as I go along. So, out of the way, let's move on to the equipment. So, I'm currently running a mixture of Vipers and carry-on gear. I'm using a short bow, and I have the Soulbeast dagger. For some reason, I don't think the Soulbeast dagger, when you get it, gave you an option for a condition stat, so I think I just chose clerics. I'm not sure why, but I'm planning on getting a carry-on, or better yet, Viper's dagger, and a carry-on torch. For my accessories, I am using Wind's Locket, Palawajoka's Finger, Cuff, and the other things like my back item, the accessory, and the ring. These are all from my level boost, because I level boosted this character, so that's why they aren't fully carry-on and or Viper. I'm still working on getting those. I have so many characters to catch up with, so I will provide a link down below to like the optimal build, because you know people like to see that. So moving into the specializations. So the first specialization I am taking is skirmishing, and in this line I'm taking Trapper's Expertise, Hidden Barbs, and Light on Your Feet. I'd also like to mention Sharpened Edges is probably another good option instead of Trapper's Expertise, but because I am taking one trap, I've decided to take Trapper's Expertise. Some people will probably debate like, oh, it's not optimal because you're only taking one trap, and I can see where you're coming from. So I would definitely also be completely welcoming to the fact that people take Sharpened Edges. Probably for a raiding scenario, you probably want to take Spotter, because, you know, gotta get that precision. And Light on Your Feet, even though I'm not primarily in short bow, whenever you dodge roll, you gain increased condition damage and your conditions last longer. And when you're in melee, you're going to be dodging quite often. So that ends up working out quite well. For Wilderness Survival, this is my second spec, I'm taking Taste for Danger for that increased expertise. I'm taking Ambidexterity for the increased condition damage and reduced recharge for Torch and Axe skills, which is, funnily enough, the two weapons that I'm using. And finally, I'm taking Poison Master. After swapping pets, your pet's first attack will inflict poison. Your poison damage is increased. And that's one reason why I'm taking Viper's Nest. Because it applies poison, I'm trying to get as much use out of this Grandmaster trait as possible. Also, I'd like to mention, if you don't take Ambidexterity, Refined Toxins is also great because it does apply more poison and you get more use out of Poison Master, which I'm considering. I've been considering trying both of these out, but for now I'm sticking with Ambidexterity. And for the third, and the piece of resistance, we have the Soulbeast, which is I love the artwork so much. I think the Soulbeast artwork might be my favorite. Ugh, it's debatable. Ugh. I'm gonna have my own personal discussion after the video. And for the traits that I'm taking Live Fast, Predator's Cunning, and Oppressive Superiority. I'd also like to mention, just like if you're trying to go for a tanky type of build for Soulbeast, in the Wilderness Survival section, you have Champion or Companion's Defense. You gain protection when you dodge roll, and you also have Rugged Growth, which means whenever you have protection, every 1 second you're healed. In Soulbeast, you also have this really... Is it here? Is it here? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, this one, Second Skin. You have this trait. I'm sorry. We're just like, where is that trait? You have Second Skin, which means that if you have any conditions on you, while you have protection, they don't do as much damage. But this is really only good, I would probably say, if there's like a raid boss who does a lot of condition damage. But this is probably useful in PvP. But you never know. There might be a raid or a fractal that comes out where it's like there's a bunch of conditions and you just have to have a Soulbeast tank. Now that would be an interesting video, a Soulbeast tank, that I might do in the future. But for now, this is what I've been running. Mostly condition damage. And then I hope you guys like my little Aboga Wiggly Vegetable. Because I was like, I don't know what else to name him. So we're just going to name him Wiggly Vegetable. Okay, so I'm going to quickly go over the skills. For the auto attack, it is a 4 chained attack. First one doing vulnerability, second one doing bleeding, and the third one doing poison. I love that my traits all affect, like especially Hidden Barbs and Poison Master. Oh wait, and even Oppressive Superior, no wait, Predator's Cunning, sorry. Which all play with bleeding and poison conditions. And for the final attack, we have Deadly Deliver, which applies all 3. For the second skill, we have Double Arc, which will apply bleeding and then give your pet a effect that will cause them to inflict poison on the target that they attack. And while you're in beast mode, which is the unique mechanic for this specialization, that will also be applied to the player character because there is no pet to do that poison damage. And finally, for the dagger, we have Instinctive Engage, which is damage. Is it a leap? Hold on. It is a leap. Okay. I was like, I think one of these skills is a leap. It's a leap, and if you manage to strike a target, successfully strike a target, I might add, you will gain quickness. And quickness is really, really useful in any situation because then you're just going to be doing more damage. For my heal, I'm taking Bear Stance because I thought, why not? I might as well just continue with the stance theme that I got going on. I would say you can take Healing Spring to get more out of Trapper's expertise, but to each their own. And plus there are a decent amount of condition damage, or there's a decent amount of enemies that apply condition damage in Path of Fire, so it's not like it's completely useless. Next, I'm taking Viper's Nest. I mentioned this a little while ago, just wanted to mention it again. It's a trap. I'm taking Moa Stance for protection, fury, and swiftness, just like immediately. But then, while the stance is active, your boons that you have on yourself, the duration is increased by 66%. So it's definitely something to think about. And especially when you use Moa Stance in conjunction with Instinctive Engage and you get that quickness. It's delicious. Delicious. And then finally, I have Vulture Stance equipped. Vulture Stance. This will apply more poison. But it's one of these like dual skills. So striking a foe grants you might if they are above the health threshold of 50%. And if they're below it, you inflict poison. I'd try to save this for when they're below 50%. If they're just like a squishy mob. But if it's like a bounty where they're like a champion or a legendary, just use this whenever. It's a 30-second cooldown. It's not super terrible by any means. And finally, I'm taking one Wolf Pack just because I'm sticking with the stances. I completely acknowledge the fact that Entangle is probably the better option because of my condition damage focus. Hey, even Strength of the Pack would be pretty good. But, you know, extra flat damage isn't too bad. And I would also like to mention the Grandmaster, leader of the pack. You will, if you take this trait, you will share out your stances to allies, and this is pretty good, especially if you're in a group of power built characters and they just get a little bit of extra damage. So let's wail on these warhogs. So my Aboga, named Wiggly Vegetable. The Aboga's action is known as Feign Grapple, which is a immobilize, and it pulls the target, and it has quite a decent range. It is 1,200, so definitely nothing to ignore. I just now realized it's probably I keep forgetting the name. Feign Grapple. Feign Grapple is probably really useful to get a caster. Say you're in PvP. If there's like an elementalist at long range and you need to pull them over and you don't feel like running that 1,200 distance, just use Feign Grapple and you'll be set. So we have this veteran warthog here. It's probably the best that I'm fighting a bit tougher character just to showcase the skills. So I'm going to use my Moa. I'm going to go into the Vulture Stance just to get a little bit more might and then hopefully apply more poison because it does more damage. I'm going to swap into Beast Mode, which is the thing that I have not mentioned, which is pretty much the main focus of the Soulbeast, is absorbing your pet into your being and then using their abilities. So the pet that I am using the most often is the Fanged Aboga, which is condition based. The category for the pet is known as Deadly. And you have 3 skills. You have Crippling Anguish, which is Confusion and Torment, and Necrotic Spores, which is more Confusion. And for the Beast skill, it's known as Primal Cry. If there is any pet under the Deadly category, you will always have Primal Cry. And this goes for all the other categories. Your 3rd Beast skill will be same depending on the category that the pet is. So if we, just to demonstrate this a bit easier or a bit more coherently, we're going to switch over to my juvenile rock lion. Oh my god, I'm forgetting the name. What? Sand lion. It's not a rock lion. But I named him Axon, like in the axon terminals in your nerves, because I like biology. Anyway, so with or to demonstrate this, if you can see here, the F3 is different from the Primal Cry. It's now Worldly Impact, which is a primarily power-based skill. But I'm taking the Feign Aboga for condition damage, but I'm also taking the Sand Lion for its A power and also its F2 ability, which applies Bleed. And the bleeding will play into the Hidden Barbs trait that I have equipped, which means that your bleeding does more damage. Sadly, I don't have a pet that is under the category of Deadly who applies Bleed yet, so I'm compensating by taking the Sand Lion. So that's Axon. He's kind of cute. He's my little baby. He's kind of adorable, just like low-key adorable. But then Wiggly Vegetable, ugh, look at that face. That's the face only a mother could love. Okay, anyway. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Let's attack this Pink Moa, because Pink Moas deserve to die. I'm gonna use my elite skill, and as you can see here, every time I attack, there's like little scratch marks. But those scratch marks are on a 1-second delay. So it's not like it's immediate, which I guess is kind of cool. They could have always gone with the route where it's immediate and then just does like extremely frequent spike damage, but this allows the Soulbeast to do more prolonged flat damage and would work really well with a power-based character. But because I'm not power-based, it's not like it's super useful. But then again, damage is damage, so not much I can say. I wanted to take a look at Beast Mastery, because Beast Mastery I think is the most interesting when paired with the Soulbeast, because Beast Mastery, this whole trait line, pretty much affects your pet, and then Soulbeast puts your pet into your own character, so it's kind of weird. But for just some, oh my god, are they, okay, they're all pretty much being attacked. I was theory crafting, or just like, before I started recording this, I was just playing around with it and looking at it, and I'm like, Beast Mastery seems a little wonky, especially with the traits that you can select. I would say that the traits, the minor traits that you don't select, they're really, really good, because they all affect like your stats and stuff. On the basis of like effective, interesting traits, I don't know, I'm a little disappointed, and I don't think I would take Beast Mastery with the build I'm currently running. But then again, you know, certain builds require certain specs. But I was looking at Potent Ally. You and your pet each grant might to each other when you critically strike a foe. I was also looking at Natural Healing for some more passive healing. I wonder if this also translates to Beast Mode. We will test that out momentarily. And Beastly Warden, it's a nice CC. It's on a 20-second cooldown though. Which I guess is fine when you look. Actually, no, Primal Cry is literally 20 seconds, so that's fine. If using the Beast Mode skill, this is on a 20-second, oh, they're on a 20-second cooldown. I guess they timed that perfectly. I don't know if every beast, actually, is every beast skill on a 20-second cooldown? No, it's not. For the Iboga it is, but not for every pet. So I was looking at Beastly Warden, which is interesting, and I was also looking at Zephyr's Speed, which grants you lesser Quickening Zephyr. However, being a Soulbeast, I'm primarily in Beast Mode, so it's not like I'm switching pets too often. Which, more veteran Soulbeasts would probably say that's a crime, and that you should probably still be switching in and out of pets quite frequently, depending on certain situations, which I completely understand. So what I was getting at with Beast Mastery is that everything that affects the beast skills, it's like blind, it's weakness, and it's taunt. They're definitely useful conditions in PvP, but not so much for PvE. I guess a blind is fine, but especially when you're in a raiding scenario, the bosses aren't affected by blinds or weakness or taunt unless it's a break bar phase. I would say Potent Ally is probably really good. Just to give them that extra might. Natural Healing is good if you need that survivability. Quickening Zephyr, I don't know. That's why I'm kind of like, you would think that Beast Mastery is really synergetic with Soulbeast, but in my opinion, I don't think it is. But then again, you know, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. None of these things have to be. But then again, just discussion. I feel so unorganized, but it's fine, you know. I'm living my best life. I'm feeling myself. You know, okay. So let's just wait on some Shadavars. Shadavar. We're gonna switch over to Shortbow. And as you can see, there's a lot of poison going out and a lot of bleeds. And I have definitely gotten to I actually got to the point where I was getting like 3,000 ticks of bleeding on one mob if I like really focused and concentrated. But typically it's about 2,000 bleeds, which I wouldn't criticize it too harshly, considering, oh wait, was I saying bleeds? I meant poison. I'm getting about 2,000 poison, which is definitely nothing to scoff at, considering poison isn't a hard-hitting condition. It's pretty nice, but definitely bleeding is one of those conditions that you want to focus on. This is in a trap. More snakes. Sneaky snakes. And that veteran is down. So I'm also taking the torch for more burning. I have yet to play around with double dagger, which I know a lot of people have been talking about, and it was something that was highlighted when the devs were talking about the Soulbeast, but I just haven't gotten around to testing it out. But then again, burning is such a strong condition that I think it's probably the better better option to go with. But yeah, I'm fairly newbie at Soulbeast, so it's not like I'm giving people like a plethora of information, and I apologize, but I really enjoy Soulbeast, and I think I'm gonna start ending and closing down this video with that message, is that I completely underestimated Soulbeast, and I think people did at the beginning, because I remember on the live stream people were like, Soulbeast seemed kind of like lackluster, but I think as information started rolling out, it did shape up to be a really nice spec, and in launch I think it's also a really nice spec. And so I'm gonna have a lot more fun with Soulbeast in the future. I'm working on the collection, and I'm gonna have a lot more fun with the other elite specializations. Before I go, I want to just like do a quick overview of the utility skills for the Soulbeast and see if I have anything to change. Doliac Stance I think is great for PvP, more stability and retaliation, and another stance to take if you're going for that tanking Soulbeast, which I think is a really interesting idea. Someone in my Discord posted a build that is a tanking Soulbeast build, so I might include that in this video, but I also might do a separate video on that. I think I'm gonna do a separate video on it, so that might come in the future. Griffen Stance, I think Griffen Stance is really awesome, and 45 seconds though, I think the greedy part of me wants it to be like a 30-second cooldown, but I think when analyzing it, it is a really strong skill to gain 25 endurance flat and then have 100% endurance regeneration, especially when you pair it with natural vigor, which is when you just gain increased endurance. Oh, I dodged. Oh, that's what it was. That the person in the a person in my Discord sent a build, and he named it the dodge tank. You get more endurance here, get more endurance with the Griffen Stance, and if you're doing condition damage, every time you dodge, you get light on your feet, and then you can dodge more, and you can do condition damage. But if you're doing power, you're probably not going to be taking light on your feet. You'll probably be taking Vicious Quarry or Quick Draw. Maybe. I don't know. Mobile Stance I think is good. The duration increased 66%. That's quite intense. I'm going to say this now, and I hope I don't jinx it, but I feel like they might tone down the duration increase, like maybe to 50%. I think 66% is just kind of insane. I hope they don't. Don't get me wrong. I hope they don't. But it's something that, you know, ArenaNet, you always got to do something. But most of the time, it's for the better. And then Vulture Stance. I think Vulture Stance is really great. It's another might application, which, I don't know. I think Griffen Stance, the might should be kept to Griffen Stance. But, I don't know. It's just a little weird to me. Just a little. But I think it works out in the end. I think overall I would rate Soulbeast an 8.5, even 9 out of 10 on the elite specialization scale. Definitely enjoying it. I hope this video wasn't too long and it wasn't just like completely, it probably was like just really bad because I'm just rambling. But I like doing this stuff. So anyway, thank you everyone for watching. Subscribe for more content, like the video if you liked it, and comment down below about your thoughts on the Soulbeast and possible build ideas, because I'm always up for that. If you are interested in buying Path of Fire and or trying out the base game for free, I have links down below, generously provided by ArenaNet. I love you guys at ArenaNet. You guys are awesome. And of course, these videos are, of course, brought to you by ArenaNet because I'm a partner. And thank you everyone for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone. Mwah.